Topping today's news, the Office of the Prime Minister defends comments to the media about the placement of crime news. Authorities tightening the noose around the necks of street gangs. Abaco MP Pinder says employers are responsible for housing foreign laborers, and a successful transplant using a kidney donated by the late police officer Thomas McIntosh. Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Jarino Saunders. This is your JCN Evening News, and it is a pleasure to have you join us. Well, one of the surest hallmarks of democracy is a free and unfettered press. This coming from the Bahamas Press Club in the wake of comments made by Prime Minister Philip Davis regarding media coverage of crime in the country. The statement from the Press Club says dictatorship emerges when the press is suppressed and the civil liberties of the general public are curtailed through intimidation or worse, while freedom of the free press or freedom of the press is a signal that the democratic principles are functioning in the best interests of citizens of any country. It said this is a thought Prime Minister Philip Davis should keep in mind when seeking to instruct the Bahamian media on the placement of murder stories in their newspapers. The Bahamas Press Club wants the Prime Minister to know that his directive will not fly and that the media will not sit idly by and be told what they can and cannot do. Meanwhile, on Wednesday, the Prime Minister backtracked just a little bit when he said that he is not trying to dictate or censor the media and that he was simply making an observation and a comment. He said it is unfortunate if his words were spun to make it seem as though he was telling the media what to do. Scores of people that live in unregulated communities on Abaco are expected to have their makeshift homes demolished after the Ministry of Works issued over 400 eviction notices in 3 shanty towns on that island about 2 weeks ago. The question now remains, what will happen to the people that lived in those unregulated communities? On Wednesday, Central and South Abaco Member of Parliament John Pinder said employers of migrants are responsible for properly accommodating their workers. And finally, in this segment, Doctors Hospital is pleased to announce the successful completion of a kidney transplant surgery made possible by a life-saving donor match. The kidney was one of the organs donated from Inspector Thomas McIntosh last Thursday in the first organ harvesting procedure completed in the Bahamas in over 14 years. Inspector McIntosh was critically injured on January 31st during a routine traffic stop on Malo-Butler Highway. His family, in accordance with his wishes, agreed to harvest his organs to be donated to others. Doctors Hospital then engaged with Life Alliance Organ Recovery Agency to facilitate the organ procurement process, and last Friday, a match was found with a Bahamian patient for one of Inspector McIntosh's kidneys. This female recipient underwent a successful transplant procedure in the United States and is recovering well. Meanwhile, officials at Doctors Hospital said they are preparing for the resumption of their kidney transplant program with the resurgent interest in organ donations. We'll take a break here. We'll be right back after these commercials.